great stuff, got really good players. Thought our guys responded in a big way from a tough outing in Oxford against a team that defended us at a really high level. So it could have been arguably our toughest performance and bounced back in a really big way. This is, of course, our biggest win. Thought we played with a ton of energy, stayed connected throughout, separated the score a little bit there late half. Kentucky came storming back, of course, had another in-game response, showed a lot of maturity and connection there by staying together, getting some stops down the stretch. Did a lot of good things. We got to continue to get better, and a lot of things we got to continue to work on. It's a really good win for us, obviously, but it's a different SEC these days, and all of these are going to be extremely difficult. So we got to move on to the next one pretty quick.
Of course, Asa hit the three-pointer right before half to give you the big lead. What did you kind of talk about with your team at halftime to keep that momentum going there in the second half?
Process, same thing. We always look at some things on film, offensively and defensively, try to keep it efficient. But just focusing on that first round, the second half, and maintaining intensity and that connection, of course. You weren't super sharp early second half. I'm not sure either team was. But we got some stops, made a couple shots there mid-second half, or 5 or 6 minutes in, and I thought our crowd was fantastic. It was a big factor in the win.
What does it say that your team is getting things done while still not, I'm assuming, shooting as well as a team that you probably would like them to right now, to still get it done?
Yeah, it'll all come together. And it's still early. I mean, we're 2 games into an 18-game stretch of battles. But it was nice to see it go in a little bit. Asa steps up and hits 2 big threes. Blue saw it going a little bit. Silas hits 2 threes. Happy for him, man. He just takes good ones. He's worked really hard at it. He's turned himself into a good shooter.
How does this team keep up the defensive intensity we've seen tonight? And obviously, it was different guys, but seeing Dakota, Deshane, it seemed like they were kind of leading the charge for that defensive intensity.
They've really embraced it. And Silas has led the way, I think, in our backcourt. Blue Kane's our most improved defender from last season. Dylan's a guy that didn't get a lot of opportunity, but he's got a lot better defensively as well. And then we've got front court guys that can move their feet and got length and can alter stuff at the rim. And Asa, of course, and Santo did some really good things. Might have been his best game. We've got improved length and speed and quickness, and our guys have embraced trying to be the best defensive team that we can be, which just makes you fit in this league is all it really does. It's the best defensive league in the country.
Mike, does this feel like a signature win for you with Georgia, or is year 3 too late for that to happen?
I'm not worried about any of that, honestly. It's a signature win for this team, for Silas and for Blue and for Asa and those guys. That said, though, I'll celebrate it with my pizza tonight. And we're moving on. I mean, we got another one. Every one of these is going to be so difficult.
What do you think of the team's offensive aggressiveness tonight?
Much better. And we saw a completely different defense. And Ole Miss is really good defensively. Kentucky's really good defensively. Oklahoma is, but everyone's a little bit different. We found better rhythm today. Second half, it didn't move quite as well as it did in the first half. We played a little bit tighter there in the second half with the lead. And with a young team, you just continue to challenge them to stay the course. And it's one possession at it. Let's just focus on moving it and executing our stuff and taking a great shot. And, not what the score says. And late, I thought we moved it a little bit better. But the first half, offensively for us, was about as well as it's moved all year.
Coach, you guys shot double the free throws they did tonight. Is there something you can attribute that to? Is it the aggressiveness you guys are getting around the rim?
Yeah, we're not a team. If you look at the assist turnover ratio on the year, it's not real pretty for us, but we drive it. We got guys that can drive through contact. We've got a team that's really hard to block out, and so we drew some fouls on just flying to the rim. Our bigs chasing it, led by Asa and Santo, and Dylan gets in there, RJ gets in there. He's hard to block out, and Justin Appleton didn't get much opportunity either, but he's a guy too that's hard to keep off the basket. We send our guards at times as well, but we want to play with physicality. That's what it is now at this level in college basketball, especially in the SEC. And we drew fouls. We played composed and did a decent job with the foul line as well.
When Kentucky cut that lead to 5, looked like y'all got, was it 4 straight free throws, I think. I mean, how influential just was that 4-point swing right there, putting it out?
That was big. You got to convert at the foul line. You have to. Our guys stepped up. Hadn't studied the box scores closely as I would have liked at this point, but just looking at it, Blue Cane and Silas were perfect, so that gives you a pretty good start with your backcourt.
Silas talked about the fact that last year you guys came close to a couple of big upsets, weren't able to finish.
Yeah.
And he talked about the way this team finished down the stretch. What did you see tonight that might have been different than what you guys saw last year?
Probably a different level of confidence and connection, but also just good players making big plays. I mean, there was one or two offensive rebound, whether they were conversions or fouls drawn by Asa that come to mind, after a tough possession against a good defense, and we just, boom, go get an extra possession. We're a little bit more capable of doing things like that. So those are much needed, of course.
You guys did a lot of right today and a lot of good, whether it was defensively, getting to the line, shooting. What would you say you're most proud of your team today?
Their connection. It's a group that really likes each other, and they're a group that has really productive huddles, productive timeouts, saying the right stuff. Despite the youth, we've got a higher level of maturity than you think, and a couple of our younger guys especially stick out. Asa and Santo both stick out. These sophomores, they got so much experience there late last season. They're playing more like veterans, at least tonight. We got to continue to do. We got ways to go, of course, but proud of our connection and the defensive intensity. I mean, that stuff's hard to guard. Those guys are hard to guard, and I thought our guys left a lot of energy out there on the floor.
Got time for 2 more?
You mentioned after the game against Ole Miss, you sounded really confident about your team's ability to respond to that. What did the response look like just in practice leading up to it?
Phenomenal. Really, really good. Less physical a couple days ago, more mental, more teaching, more film. Our guys continue to embrace it, want to get better. Our guys have a pretty high level of, or pretty high ability to coach each other and take it, Again, part of that is they've got good relationships with one another, and we're all on the same page. And again, I thought we played really hard at Ole Miss and competed at really high, just really struggled offensively. We're better than that, and had a good practice. Yesterday had a really sharp shoot around this morning and played better.
The SEC has so many teams ranked in the top 25, and Silas was leading us. They asked him about it, he kind of was like, we don't care about the rankings. We're just going to go out there and play basketball. What are your thoughts on kind of all that?
Love it. That means we're all on the same page. We've got to get better. We take a day off tomorrow and try to improve in some areas on Thursday and lock into that scouting report. Everything else will take care of itself. We've got good players, and again, our guys play hard. I don't know what our ceiling is, but we got to focus on continuing to grow.